Well, good afternoon. Pastor Hayton here with the Lord Lights Devotional. Been another one of those days where it's getting late in the day before I'm able to sit down and spend my usual few minutes with you. Seems like that life just gets busier and busy for this old preacher man, but I enjoy being busy, and today I've been busy with grandkids again. You know, I know my dad was so anxious to mind the Lord throughout all of the years of his ministry, and I commend him for that. I treasure the memory of having a father that was always ready to obey the Lord and follow his leadings wherever he led him to go. The one thing that happened is that my dad felt led to leave our home state of West Virginia and move out to north central Kansas when I was 5 years old. And I always kind of resented that a little bit because I grew up without ever really making memories with my grandparents. We would go back and visit during the summer months for a week or two, and I, kind of knew who my grandparents were, but I never really felt like that I knew my grandparents and never felt grandparented, whatever it is to be grandparented. And so, since we live in the vicinity of all of our grandkids, if any of them call and say, "Granddad, can we come over for a while?" Well, I don't have the heart to say no, and I do want them to make memories with their old grandma and grandpa. So, we've had grandkids again today. I keep saying one of these days they're going to grow up and get old, and they may want to pop in and say hello once in a while, but they won't want to come to spend the day with old people. So while they can, I go get my grandkids. It entails about a 100-mile round trip driving. Jake and Natalie live out in Blue Springs, so it's almost 25 miles from our home there. So to get them and bring them back and take them back again in the afternoon and come back home. But it's worth every mile of the way, and I enjoy spending time with my grandkids. But anyway, that's not what I was really wanting to talk about today. But I do want to commend my dad for obeying the Lord, even though it meant that we were deprived of our grandparents. But what I wanted to say, I'm really busy too, getting ready to go to camp meeting down in Alabama. Kind of a yearly thing for me for the last several years, except last year, when I went out to the Susie Chapel Camp. Unfortunately, Susie Chapel Camp and Southern Annual Camp kind of collide as far as the dates go, so I can't go to both. But last year I wanted to go to Susie Chapel, as I hadn't been there since I was a young person, and no regrets about that, except it made me miss the Southern Annual Camp in Cuba, Alabama. So I'm thinking about all I've got to do to be ready to leave Sunday afternoon to head to Alabama, and thinking about all the preparation that is entailed, getting my yard work all caught up, getting my clothes all ready to go. Just so many different things that I have to do, doing a lot of shopping so that Carol and Josiah won't go hungry while I'm gone. Just so much to do. And I thought, as I've been making my plans and preparing, how important it is that we prepare for heaven. You know, we have the hopes of going to heaven someday, and you don't get there without planning and preparation. And the same care that I am giving to planning and preparing for my trip to Alabama, I certainly want to exercise that same care in preparing for heaven. And so may God help us to recognize that one of these days we're all going to take a trip, and it's going to take planning and preparation to be ready for that trip to heaven. So just to share that few minutes from my heart with you today has been a pleasure, and I hope to see you tomorrow on the Lord Lights Devotional here with Pastor Hayton. See you then, and goodbye.